बोलो एक बार। बोलो। हेलो। 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 ठीक।
Hello, friends. Good evening. My name is Dr. Saurabh Tiwari, and I welcome you all, the candidates who has joined this webinar. In this webinar, we are going to discuss about the career opportunities in BBA with specialization in logistics management. So, over the half an hour, what we are going to discuss about what exactly logistics management all about, the importance of logistics management, who does or what are those who are involved in logistics management, some facts and figures about the Indian logistical sector, what logistical sectors in terms of value added activities or services being performed, the industry overview about UPS, and the UPS offering to the students, those who want to take admissions in BBA, how this program differentiates or how this program is different from other normal BBA programs, the career path trajectory, the career opportunities, the growth, the job profiles. We are going to discuss all these in details over the next half an hour. So we'll start with what exactly logistics management is all about. As you see that logistic is the universal thread or pipeline uh, that plans and coordinates the delivery of products and services to customer all over the world. So, logistical professionals manage and coordinate activities in this global pipeline to ensure an effective and efficient flow of materials and information from the time a need arises until it is satisfied and beyond. If we talk about some of the activities which are actually part or involved in logistics. That includes customer service, warehousing, inventory control, transportation, material handling, forecasting, purchasing, and strategic planning. So, the ultimate goal of all these activities, which are mentioned in this PPT, are basically how this logistic activities is to satisfy the need of ultimate customer. Or in other words, or in simple language, we can say that logistics managers ensures that the right product should be reached in the right quantity, in right condition, is delivered to the right customer at right place, at right time, and at the right cost. So when we go through all these right, we means that everything should be on right as per the perspective of the customers. If we go by some of the technical definitions which is given by some of the international agencies like the Council of Logistics Management, they normally define it as the process of planning, implementing, and controlling the efficient, cost effective flow and storage of raw material, in process inventory, finished goods, and related information from the point of origin to the point of consumption so as to meet the customer requirements. So the scope is across from the starting origin point till the end point when the product is in the hands of the customer and he is going to consume. In layman terms, if we talk about, it is nothing but that goes into ensuring that the right material reaches the right place at the right time. The logistics supports almost all industry activity, whether it is related to energy, whether it is related to manufacturing, service industry, takes the case of steel industry, for fertilizers, oil and gas, whatever industry you see, everywhere logistic is there. So it has traditionally not been accorded attention as an independent sector in itself. But with the passage of time, it has been found that if a company want to have a competitive edge in the market, logistics can be the primary driver factor which can provide this competitive advantage to the company. If we talk about the Indian scenario, with the India is in midst of an unprecedented boom, with whether you talk about the e-commerce or other industries, or Make in India concept given by our Prime Minister, most industries are witnessing very strong growth rates, and the economy is growing at almost 7 to 8%. This is the figure which has been given by World Bank and other like agencies like the RBI. Both industrial and consumer goods are witnessing increased demand, and this growth is in turn leading to a similar boom in a relatively lesser noticed but significant sector that supports most industrial activity across the logistic sector. Now, if we talk about the importance of logistics management, we can very easily see that logistics management has become prominent and acknowledged as a critical factor in establishing competitive advantage in several developed countries. For example, take the case every time we go and want to purchase some item over the some portal, and we want that the material should reach as early as possible in the hands of the customer. Now, this is only possible because of the support of the logistic companies. You take the name of any of the e-portal, and they are actually supported by the logistic companies, their distribution, their warehousing, their transportation, and ultimately the customer, the product should reach safe, packed material should reach in the hands of the customers. And this is all because of this logistics. Expansion of international trade and globalization strategy of many companies has increased importance of logistics management. Now, with the increase in the international trade and globalizations, this has become more importance. With containers going outside the countries and materials being brought in, imported in our country through containers, it is very much important that logistics supports. Without this, it is very difficult to manage the operation across globe. It is estimated that average cost of logistics can account up to 30% of the total landed cost of the goods. So you can imagine that 30% of the cost actually can be as high as up to 30% in case of transporting or in case of managing the materials from one part to the other. Giving careful attention to logistics management results in reduction in cost and thus better performance for the companies. Logistic industries directly or indirectly contributes even 25% to most countries' GDP and employs several million people across the globe. So if it in some countries the contribution is as high as 25% for the GDP of that country, and you can imagine when the GDP is the contribution is such high, how many numbers of people are normally being employed by this sector across the globe. So this shows the importance of logistics management in the current scenario. Now the question arises, when the logistics management is so much important, what does they actually involve and what is the roles and responsibility that they have to perform? So effectively day-to-day management of logistics involved first the transportation, that is the physical movement of goods from one place to the another. The storage and warehousing, where to locate, when to locate, how much to be quantity to move to which locations, how much inventories are being maintained, what should be the stock that need to be maintained across the globe, what should be the packaging, whether it should be packed, whether it should be in a corrugated box or it should be packed in wooden box. So that actually is it depends upon the type of the material, its importance. For example, take the case every day we consume biscuits, and at the simultaneously we also consume tea. Now, see these two products, if you see the nature of these two products are totally different. If we talk in terms of the packaging, the importance. Now, for biscuits or even for chips as a material, the important aspect is the crispiness. Whereas if we talk about material like tea, that requirement is odor. Now, when we talk about the packaging, both these materials, because of its intrinsic character, they require different type of packaging. And different type of packaging is again a specialized area where a person can get a job. So this shows the importance of packaging. Then we have distribution, which material to distribute to which location, in how much quantities, which mode we are going to use. Everything should be clearly being defined as a part of the logistics. So logistics integrates with and is essential to many areas of the business operations, such as retailing, production management, quality control, importing and exporting, project management, forecasting, etc. etc. So there are multiple areas where logistics can be a part, and it can help a person to get a job, and it can provide a better career path opportunities if a person tries to get inside the logistic management field. Now, coming on to the Indian logistics sectors. If you see, India's expenditure on logistic activities is equivalent to 13% of its GDP, is higher than that of the developed nations. The key reason for this is the relatively higher level of inefficiencies in the system. It can be related to, or it can be due to lower average trucking speeds, higher turnaround time at ports, and high cost of administrative delays, being just a few of the examples. These inefficiencies have arisen over the years from a combination of a non-conducive policy environment, extensively due to industry fragmentation and lack of basic infrastructure. If we see from the facts and figures, China and India, their logistic cost as compared to its GDP contribution is almost 13 to 15%. But if we see as a share of a 3PL in the overall logistics industry, it is less than 10%. If we compare it with USA, which is a developed country as compared to India, it is the GDP logistic cost to its GDP is just 9.9%, but the share is as high as 57%. If we talk in terms of European countries, it is 10% of their GDP. But the share of a 3PL is almost 30 to 40%. In terms of Japan, it is logistical cost to GDP is 11.4%, but the share of 3PL in overall logistics is 80%. So imagine a condition how much logistic contributes to the development of the countries. Uh, if we talk in terms of some of the India's inefficiencies, indirect tax regime discouraged large centralized warehouse and led over time to fragmentation in the warehousing sector. At the same time, The absence of a single logistic champion, whether it is in the form of ministry or otherwise, in the government, led to a disintegrated approach to the development of the sector. Extensive fragmentation meant the incapacity of industry players to develop the industry as a whole, and poor support infrastructures such as roads, port, and telecom led to the situation where the opportunity to create value is very limited. So, as the logistical cost and its contribution to GDP increases, obviously the share percentage over the logistic of a 3PL is also increased, and as a result of which we'll have a better. And with the government proposing the GST, I hope that this is going to be there will be a great boom in this sector. Some of the facts that it is an estimated that of the quantum of the logistics spend, which is Indian national rupee, which is 19 trillion globally, in India it is almost 4 trillion in India. Some of the facts and figures, if we compare, the average surface freight in cents per kilometer, if we compare with four nations like Europe, Japan, Canada, and India, India has the highest average surface freight in cents per kilometer, which is almost as high as 7 as compared to Canada, which is 2, Japan it is 3.7, and Europe it is 5.5. So this shows the lack of the infrastructure, and due to which our freights are not moving as very fast, and the expenditure on the freight is as high as 7 cents per kilometer. If you see at the turnaround time basically means the time the material get inside and it is uh, processed and get outside. It keeps on moving. So suppose in a port the material comes in and further it has to move. So what is the turnaround time at the given port? So in Singapore it is 7 hours, Hong Kong it is 7 hours, and in India for a container it takes almost 84 hours to get clear. So imagine how slow our containers are moving, and because of this lack of specialized or because of lack of other infrastructural issues, it is as high as 84 hours. If it estimated economic cost due to delays at check, for multiple axle it is 895, for heavy it is 7660, and for light it is 887. If we talk about average inventories day, uh, in terms of Brazil, it is 19.9, for China, it is 24.2, and for India, it is as high as 54 to 56. Uh, and estimate basically this indicates the importance of the sectors and justify a deeper look at its unique characteristics. A very important one being its manpower intensity. The rapid evolution of this industry in India, both in terms of scale and scope of services, is creating the need for a whole new set of skills along with an ever increasing requirement of skilled and trained manpower. While the cross section of industry players recognizes the critical need for manpower development in this sector, precious little has been done to investigate the core issues and identify initiatives to address this situation or this issue. If we talk about the growth in the logistic outsourcing, this is it is estimated that our GDP is going to be grow will at around 8%, but right now it is 7 to 7.5% as per the projections. But in future it is going to be around more than 8%. So with this we have greater economic activities. It will lead to increasing trade with other countries, whether it is in terms of imports or exports, greater outsourcing of manufacturing, and increased outsourced manufacturing activity is being seen in auto ancillaries, textiles, pharma sectors, and other allied sectors. Greater propensity to outsource logistics, which will lead to cost savings, leading to increased competitiveness, greater supply chain flexibility and responsiveness, value added services. We'll discuss what exactly we mean by value added services, greatest focus on the economy across the country, increased availability of organized service providers. If we talk in terms of better enabling environment, will lead to improved infrastructures, and as a result of which there will be enabling regulations. Other outcomes of our growth in the logistic outsourcing is entry of many MNCs in the country, sharing an established practice of outsourcing logistical activities. And the very simple reason is that you will find that most of the multinational companies, if you talk in terms of automobiles, you'll find Mercedes, you find BMW, you find other companies are coming and opening their plants in India because they are seeing as a Indian economy as a growing, and it leads to the increase. They can even export their material from outside the country because of the current environment and because of the current situations. They provides a better fielding ground where they can grow both in terms of as a company and as a sectors where the people can get better opportunities in terms of logistics. Uh, However, much of this changing is with the government now demonstrating a strong commitment towards providing and enabling infrastructure and creating conducive regulations. There is a significant current and planned investment in infrastructures, which is we'll see over the next few years, and an increased emphasis on public-private partnership. At the same time, regulations around rationalizations of tax structures as a result of GST and prevention of overloading, for examples, are creating an environment of positive change. Players now have the opportunity to leverage economies of scale. In addition, the evolving business landscape and increasing competitions across industry is creating the need for more efficient and reliable logistics services than what exists today. For example, rapid growth of organized retail and the need of reach out of the large untapped rural market in India are necessitating development of strong back end and front end supply networks. Now, this is what logistical sector value added services are. Logistics in India involves a complex chain of activities. Now, here we are actually trying to show what are the complex chain of activities and which are spread across multiple modes of transportation and infrastructure points. It can be divided into three groups. One is called sourcing and intermediation. Then we have outbound cargo handling and domestic receipt. And we have inbound cargo handling and international receipts. So if we start with the sourcing and intermediation, we have our exporters oblique producers who will send the materials to the local factory yard or storage areas for which they require the support. In case of exporters, we required express cargo agent. In order to move we required freight forwarders. Then there are trucking companies. There are 3PL oblique 4PL agents. The sourcing activities involved sourcing and intermediation, LTL oblique FTL full truckload and low truckload, NVOCC management, arranging broking, tracking GPS oblique IT, insurance. These are the areas which are part of the sourcing activities. Now, if we go and talk about this outbound cargo handling and domestic, we have our air cargo centers, we have our transit airports. In order to support that air cargo center, we should have a central warehouse. We should have a ICD, which is called as inland container depot, or where the containers come and being kept. Then we have our container freight station, or called as CFS, or called the container cargo. We have our custom house agents, and we have our outgoing ports. So these are all the activities which are actually involved in the outbound cargo handling and domestic receipt. At the transit airport, we have our local warehouse, we have our pickup point. So these are the activities which are basically being part of the outbound cargo handling and domestic receipt. At the same time, at the local warehouse or pickup point, we can do other activities which are known as bulk cargo movement, or we can go even with the break bulk cargo. If we go with the inbound cargo handling and international receipt, the material is being received at the international airport. They are importers whose material has been brought. It moves to the central warehouses from where it can go to local warehouses and pickup points. Then there is a custom house agent who is involved in the clearances process. Then we have our CFS and oblique ICD container freight station and ICD inland container depot. Then the incoming port, and finally the shipping line. So all these are basically the activities or the value added services. So a material is being manufactured, but still if it needs to move from one country to another, there are multiple options, or there are multiple players involved which actually are participating in order to move the material from one place to the another, whether it is in your country or it is at the receiving countries. There are various agencies or there are various parties who are involved, and these are the actual opportunities or the areas where a person can work and can grow, see itself there as a growth opportunities. So given the diversity and hence heterogeneity of the logistical sectors, it is essential to take a segmental view of the sector when it comes to evaluation of manpower, or for that matter, any characteristics. For identification of unique segments for the purpose of evaluation form a skill gap perspective. It is essential to segment the sector along the nature of activity, oblique services, and for this purpose. A value chain perspective with identification of distinct links in the chain becomes important. If you try to see over elaborated what are the value chain activities basically are involved in the logistical sectors, we can divide the entire activities into broader three categories. One is called transportation, second is warehousing, and third is called the value added services. So these are the three areas where we can further divide it under the activities which are being performed under the logistical sectors. If we talk about transportation, then it can be related to rail movement, it can be related to road movement, it can be related to water and air. If we talk in terms of road, then trucking and related services like fleet management, again it's an important activity, network optimization and route planning, etc. are the activities which are performed under road. In terms of railway, it is railway cargo transportation. For water, it is shipping operations, port development, breakwater projects, dredging, pilotage and town towage, stewarding, ship repairs, etc. In case of air, it is air cargo operations, ownership and operations of cargo aircraft. In case of warehousing, if we talk in terms of road, warehousing related to inland distribution, whether it is inbound or outbound LTL, transshipment sectors. In case of a role, it can be related to ICD, inland container depot, or CFS, which is container freight stations, or multimodal warehouses. In case of a water, again it is inland container depot or the container freight station, port-based warehousing, tank farms. In case of air, it is air cargo transshipment warehouses. If we talk in terms of the value added services, the services are nothing but bundled around road transportation and warehousing like express, cold chain, track and trace, packaging and consulting, etc. Now cold chain is a growing area where you will find in the over the next few years there will be huge opportunities and jobs are being offered by the companies in this area. In case of rail, it is service bundled around rail transportation and warehousing, like dedicated rail container services, stuffing, de-stuffing, consolidation, etc. In case of water, it is freight forwarding, freight consolidation, NVOCC, custom clearances. In case of air, it is express and container service, freight station, freight forwarding, and custom clearances. These are the activities which are being performed under logistics sectors under value added services. Again, if we see from the same perspective the range of services, in case of road, it is trucking, FTL, LTL, project logistics. It's upcoming area in case of ODC, which is called as over dimensional cargo, last mile services, which is being generally being used in case of e-commerce, express cargo, equipment management, example trailers and cranes. For rails, it is container, train operations, bulk and break bulk transports, passenger train cargo, infrastructures and ancillaries, Shipping, in case of water, it is shipping, container, bulk cargo, ports and port management, port services. In air cargo, it is air cargo operations, related infrastructure like airport and aircraft. In case of warehousing, it is for road, it is godowns management, modern warehouses are upcoming, express cargo hubs, LTL transshipment centers, road link logistics, and food. For rail, it is inland container depot, FTZs, FTWZs, rail and linkage and MMLP, bulk cargo terminals. For water, it is container freight stations, port based. For air, it is air cargo, express cargo hubs. In case of value added services, they are cold chain, 3PL and 4PL, value added services, courier services, reverse logistics. In case of rail, it is freight consolidations, container stuffing, destuffing, custom handling, rail led 3PL services. For water, it is custom clearances, container stuffing, buffer yard storage, pre-delivery inspection. So these are the activities which are, or a wide range of activities which are being performed under the value-added services, which comes as a part of the logistics sector. Now, coming on to what we are offering at UPS and how our courses are different from other BBA programs, or what a student, if takes admissions, how he can be a competitive, or what are the chances of growth in the industry. So, I'm going to discuss in this section. So, industry overview of UPS. UPS emerged as an innovative institution offering industry-focused, specialized graduate, postgraduate, and doctoral programs in the key areas of energy, infrastructure, transportation, information technology, and legal processes. The basic objective of this university is to develop domain specific, or rather called as industry ready or industry competent technocrats, professionals, and managers who can go and straight away can join the core industries, and from day one they can deliver to, or as per the expectation of the industry. UPS is a member of the International Association of Universities, which is known as IAU. This enables the university to participate in IAU annual conferences, general conferences, specialized workshops, seminars, expert meetings, and various other events. Why logistics management over general management? This is a basic question which each and every student have their mind. So why it is so different, or what they can get better out of it? See, this program has been designed and developed keeping in view that what industries are actually looking, or what exposure student can get by joining this course on the various aspects of logistic industries, along with general business management, helping them understand, develop specific skills to manage strategic challenges facing this sector. So what we have done, we have divided this course into two groups. One, what we are offering in terms of general courses, so that a student can get knowledge about the business managements, along with the domain related specific programs. So in this slide, I have tried to compile few of the papers which we generally taught to our students. So general courses involves basic of business organizations, business economics, business mathematics, accounting, communication, computing, organizational behavior, financial management, human resource management, operations and material management, project management. Then we have marketing management, consumer behavior, and marketing research. So these are the general courses which are part of the program which we are offering to the student as in the BBA Logistics Management. Along with that, the competitive edge which a student can get by studying some of the domain specific courses which we teach them during the 3 years from first to six semesters. Some of the courses are like what is the understanding of the basic logistic concepts, the logistic and the supply chain management, introduction to multimodal transportation, logistic information system, supplier relationship management, retail logistics, logistics planning and strategy, and logistic in manufacturing sectors. So if you see, the domain specific courses actually help the students to get ready for any type of industries across. For example, it can be related to manufacturing, the hardcore sectors like steel, fertilizers, multiple agencies, or even they can work in automobile, auto ancillaries, pharma industries, 3PL, third party logistics player companies. So the amples of opportunities are there, even in e-commerce companies, even in some of the companies like mobile manufacturing, electronic components manufacturing. So there's a huge scope of this course in the across the industry, and the chances of getting even in retail, the students can get a job. So that's why we have tried to club the general courses and the domain specific courses. So a student, as per their requirement or as per their interest, can take opportunity in any of the sectors or in any of the areas as per their likings. Uh, Before that, I want to also tell you something that till now the placements which we are offering to our students, students have got placed in multinational companies like Pune Nagal, Denso. Denso is basically auto ancillary companies which supplies auto components to some of the major known automobile companies like Maruti, Hyundai, and then other companies are there. Then students have also got opportunity to work with companies like FedEx, APL, Safe Express, Lava Mobiles, DHL, Panalpina. So if we name, and there is a list of companies where their students have got placements. Every As a part of the course, the student also go for some visits, where we divide the visits into two categories. One is the local visits, which is a one-day affair where students goes and try to see the or try to learn the operations of the industry which is nearby area. And along with that, there's a industrial visit which is organized for 1 week, where we try to give a flair of students to various industries. Like last year, I have taken the students to Mahindra and Mahindra, Hero Honda plant, Amul, Electrotherm, Jyoti Limited, Safe Express, Future Supply Chain. So these are the list of the companies where the students have got an opportunity to visit and learn their operations and the processes, how the product is being actually moving. If we talk in terms of career path or oblique opportunities, the chances of getting a job are in manufacturing firms. It can be related to industrial and consumer goods, third party logistics, which can be related to warehousing, dedicated carriers, freight forwarders, in transportation firms, in terms of freight and passengers, in education organizations, in universities and for training firms, in government agencies, in service institutions like banks, hospitals, in consulting firms like strategy, technology, and merchandising firms, retailers, wholesaler, distribution. So there is a gamut of opportunities which is hang around the students. They can choose from any of the areas as per their interest, as per their liking, as per the growth of the sectors. So you can see everywhere you can get a chance of getting a job in this if you joined logistics as a area where you want to do your graduation. Some of the career path that focus on a wide variety of functional areas. Some of these includes logistic planning and analysis. You can work as a transportation manager. You can work in warehouse operations. You can work as inventory planning and controller. You can work in purchasing and materials management department. You can work as in international logistics. You can work in production planning and operations. Supply chain management is other areas. You can work in customer service management, information system and control, logistics service, marketing and sales, business development, which is a very critical area for logistic companies, and even in some of the cases in logistic engineering like route planning, optimizations. These are the few areas where they can work on. So what are the job profiles? You can work as analyst, you can work as consultant, as a customer service manager, as an international logistics manager, international control manager, logistic engineer. You can work as logistics manager, logistics service salesperson, logistics software manager, material manager, production manager, purchasing manager, supply chain manager, system support manager, transportation manager, vendor managed inventory coordinator, warehouse operation manager. So these are the profiles where a student after completing his graduation can start as a career in executive, and later down the line can be promoted as a manager depending upon his skills, depending upon his learning, depending upon his ability to grow and to learn the processes and to show his growth in the trajectory. So he can be moved across from executive level to the manager level. So if I try to show in terms of how the actually the things move in the career growth, so you can start as logistic analyst executive, you can be promoted to logistic engineer, you can be promoted to project manager, and finally to business development director or operation site manager. If you start as a distribution center management trainee or a distribution center executive, you can be promoted as materials coordinator, as a production management, and finally to a corporate logistic management or a corporate materials management. In case of a terminal supervision, you can be promoted to sales, you can be promoted as a terminal manager, you can be promoted as terminal operation executive or a director, and to the national representative director. So these I just try to show you how the growth opportunities are there. You will start it as a executive and finally you can move it to the higher level and can climb the ladder with the passage of time, and with your upgradation enhancing the skills, you can move to at any level across the industry. So with this, I close my session over here. For any queries and clarification, you can put your queries to me, and I will just try to give clarifications on your doubts, and I will take some of the questions. Okay, the first question which has been pushed over here is what is the uh, eligibility criteria? Uh, the eligibility to apply is that you have cleared your 12th, and you should have 50% minimum, and after that we'll call you for a group discussion and personal interview, and try to, on the basis of your marks of your 10, 12, your GD and PI, there will be a merit list which will be formed, and then your result will be declared, and if you fit in that merit list, you will get a chance to join our university and can do this course, which is BBA Logistics Management. The next question, which has been asked as 3PL, exactly 3PL stands for third party logistics. See, if we talk about third party, why it is called as third party? Because the first party is the company which produces the product, the second party is actually the consumer who is consuming the goods. Now, it is called as third party because this third party, which is the logistic companies, try to get in touch with both the parties and try to move the product from one place to the another. That is from the customer till from the manufacturer till the customer. So that's why we call it as a third party logistics. The various activities performed under third party logistics are basically your manufacture, basically your warehousing, your packaging, your transportation, your distribution, your custom clearances. So all these, container freight station, inland container depot, all these activities are part of actually the third party logistic services. Uh, Somebody has asked what is the overall percentage of BBA student from UPS opt for MBA. See, it depends. It depends upon the student. Some students after their BBA they want to join the industry. For them, we try to provide placement support or assistance. Those students who want to do a specialization or want to uh, do their MBA, we have interlinked program called MBA Logistics and Supply Chain. So from after doing the BBA Logistics Management, they can take admissions in masters or called as MBA Logistics and Supply Chain Management. What are the GDs and PIs? Okay, GD stands for group discussion, and PI stands for personal interview. So you have to fill a form. After that, on that basis of that, you will be called on a particular day on a particular venue for group discussions where there are other candidates. And after that group discussion, you have to give your personal interviews, which is called as PI. So GD stands for group discussions and PI for personal interviews. Date will be announced, for which you can contact our admission enrollment team, or even you, if you can go to our website and can see the dates for the GD and PI. For that, prior to that, you have to fill the UPS form. Okay. See, if in terms of the reasons related to logistics management, till now, most logistics is not considered as an important part of the Indian economy, and it is just see as a support services. So most of the logistic industries or the transportation companies or even in warehouses are in unorganized sectors. Now, with the entry of multinationals, we find that the sectors has a growth scope and it can provide competitive advantage. So it is now becoming organized, and you can see your ads on FedEx and 3PL, Blue Dart, DHL. All these companies are coming. They are multinational, specialized in logistic areas in a particular functionality of the business, and they are offering services because see, with the growing of the economy, it is not possible for the unorganized sectors to move ahead in that direction or to provide the support to the companies. So in order to support that, we required professional companies who actually manages your cargo and can provide a better services to the customer. For example, today I booked any material, or I liked any material on any of the my e-commerce website, and I want that the material should be delivered within 3 days or 4 days. It doesn't matter whether I am sitting in north or whether I am sitting in south and the suppliers is in north or south. I want the material in 3 days. Now imagine how is it possible with a single containers, which is just whether it is rupees 100 or 10,000, hardly matters. That material should reach to you within 3 days. So this is only possible with the enhancement of the infrastructure, with the coming of professional companies who are offering services to the customers. Yeah, for moving for BBA to MBA in our college, you have to clear you can appear through CAT exams, even you can go with MAT, and we also have UPS MAT exams where you can appear, and on the basis of your marks, you'll get a chance to appear for GD and PI, and then finally you'll get admission to MBA. This is the progression what we had till now being offered to our students who want to take admission from BBA to MBA. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any queries, you can just put it on. I'm here to give you replies to your queries. Okay, thanks for joining all those candidates and best of luck for your future.